Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Toll Podcast. I am your host, Ambermel, and just moving the camera out there. You know I'm not going to use it. Great to hear today, once again, as you guys could expect, with Eck.
This time I'm sitting on your left.
Oh yeah, I don't usually sit on the right side of the couch, except...
And you warmed up the seat for
You're
me
welcome.
already.
You're welcome. So, I was, thinking about what to talk about, and I realized I've talked about combo models. I think we've talked about Titans even to some degree. But one thing we haven't really talked about when it came down to sets, we even talked about each year individually. We have 2 podcasts, I believe, going through the 10 years of Bionicle, even comparing them.
That was a while back.
Yeah, quite a while back. But something I don't think we've ever really gone in depth about or talked much about is actually the quick good guy, quick bad guy, all the little weird, cheap little polybags of throwaway.
They're not the
Taragas.
They're not the Borak Vaz. They're the 1 or 2 a year.
They're the non-canon random part mashes that you would get from 2006 to 2008. Which, I mean, there's various different ones. I mean, let's be honest, we all know our Lord and Savior, good guy.
Good guy. But he wasn't the only good guy.
No,
that guy was just good guy
06. There was good guy 06, and then there was good guy 07.
Yes, good guy 07, I remember.
Those are the only 2 good guys.
And good guy 08.
Right, and 08.
So there was
and then there was
good guys.
Quick good guy white, quick good guy red, quick bad guy yellow, quick bad guy green. But, good guy, the good guy, let's be honest, we had no care for until Suddenly Oranges with his Reviving Bionicle.
As with most Bionicle fans, we're pretty sure this is the case.
Well, it's kind of like how LJ made a cult following for Solik with hating Solik. I think that's officially died off. I think the Solik joke is gone. But the good guy joke, I saw someone do a revamp of the good guy a week ago. It was actually a pretty good revamp.
Yeah, I've seen one of those.
And I'm just, at the same time, the fact that people are revamping that set, almost unironically at this point. They're not even making, well, maybe it is ironically, I don't know. I don't go up to people and go, hey, excuse me, what's going on here? So, but the thing about those good guys and bad guys and weapon sets is they've had a very interesting, I would say, perspective from us, where we didn't really realize they existed when they were coming out. It's only we discovered them later. Yeah, well, I don't know if anyone in North America would have really known they existed outside of Bricklink, because I think they were very much European sort of...
that would make a lot of sense, yes.
Things that I don't know in how you got them. That's the thing is...
Well, I think Quick
is a brand.
Quick cereal.
Maybe? I think. I can't, it's the same with the Kabaya promotional sort of things. It's just that Quick is a word that sounds normal to us, unlike Kabaya.
Of course, the spelling of Quick wasn't normal. Because it's Q-W-I-K. It's missing the C.
C, which for Bionicle is appropriate, I think.
Get rid of that C.
But one thing I like to think in my head canon for at least the quick good guy red, quick good guy white, good guy 07, and good guy 08, I like to think that they are just fixed Matorn by Karzani.
And honestly, that you throw them in with the Voyatorn, they just fit right in.
Well, the Voyatorn not having any recolors of parts are pretty much the same sort of sets they are. You have bin of parts, you make a little character out of it, and you call it a person. The big difference is between the good guy sets compared to the Matorn is they actually had all their hands and
I
heads.
was just thinking that too. It's where are you going? I don't know, but they have other hands.
I mean, let's be honest. In Mind Trap or Time Trap, when Makuta says enough hands have been lost this year already, let's be honest. He wasn't just talking about Star Wars. I think he saw the future of how many good guys were losing their hands.
Yeah.
Although, there is one of them where missing his hand almost works in story for a joke of it. Because,
we're talking Trogg-Olikon.
We are talking Trogg-Olikon, yes. Which, LJ, I know when he had to review him, made the joke that it wasn't Trogg-Olikon, it was his corpse. Because he didn't have any they didn't have a head, so he had no eyes.
And he's missing his hand.
Which so happened to be where his shield was, where Makuta grabbed the shield. And the funny thing is, you never actually see that hand again. You never get a good view of him. You only see the hand that grabs the Kama, I think. You don't actually ever get a good look at it. So you could just say, oh, that's post-mortem Trogg-Olikon. Which for me,
makes a lot of sense.
I just like to think that's pretty funny. I mean, also the Troglodyte one, I would say, is the most interesting case because, let's be honest, it was made as just a random thing to be sold with batteries as just a cool promotion, right?
Yeah,
In 2005, right? But if you're a person designing it, you can't tell me the person who designed it didn't think that was going to be Troglodyte, like in his mind. Like as a, okay, I'm not getting told to make a Troglodyte. I am told just to make a set for the batteries, and I decide to make one who my headcanon is a Troglodyte, only for many years later for people to ask Greg, is that Troglodyte? He goes, sure.
Greg, yeah, just
I believe
sure.
I believe that's the exact way he was just sure.
I'm quite confident that is accurate.
Like
I remember that too.
Yeah, but I do believe that the person who designed the set had it in his mind it's Troglodyte. Because it's like, okay, it has Lucaan's mask, it's the right color, and he's Troglodyte with a staff. How is that not supposed to be Troglodyte?
Coincidence? I think not.
If it is, so be it.
It's possible,
But
I don't believe it.
It's also the fact that it happened, post, like still in the Michinui era, Michinui, well, anyway, he might have come out in 2006. I don't remember. But what's really interesting about that is his same body design was used for Kazi.
Yeah. Talk about a good fit with some Voyatoran, huh?
Yeah, I mean, at least Kazi had both his hands, although Troglodyte had better legs, but worse feet. Because he didn't have feet.
Yes.
I can't remember with my Troglodyte, if I added, like feet and, what's it called? Feet in the hand to him. Also, I think I still have a sealed one. Because I know I ordered a sealed Troglodyte, but I didn't open him for that Christmas video. So I think I might still actually have him sealed.
I definitely do not have one sealed.
I didn't get him well, I didn't get him with the box because you would have a box and then a bag inside of it, or at least a facade of a box with the Duracell batteries.
I only ever got one good guy as a set. The other ones I just all pieced together. And the one I got as a set, I got it after I'd pieced them all together.
Well, same with me. You and me both. Zach had bought us all good guy sets for Christmas.
A couple years ago.
I believe mine was Quick Bad Guy Yellow.
Mine was Bad Guy 07.
And I think his was Bad Guy 06. He got the Baraka Monkey. Which is also an interesting case. Because this thing is, the other Duracell one.
Yes.
The Baraka is listed as. Now, in Bongo lore, there's a Baraka Monkey. Spelled slightly differently. One's got like 2 Ks or something. One's got just 1 K. And then it's never been confirmed that that's supposed to be the Baraka Monkey, and yet it's called the Baraka for no reason. I don't know if at some point someone just assumed that. They just gave it a nickname that, or what. I don't know.
Or the name was somehow used twice?
I don't know where the name would have come from, because
who knows?
All the other, like, Quick Good Guy names are just a description of the set. I mean, there's the Crate 2. I guess there's the Crate 2.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Well, that was kind of like
2005 or 2000s.
Well, that was like pretty much one of the first ones.
Well, it was also weird just because I had a Tohonga arm.
Yeah.
With a Kreka disc.
They definitely had a surplus of those arms.
Yeah, I blame the Boxer for that.
Most indubitably.
But it's just, I don't know. Those two are the first ones. I would say the only ones that you could say were to some degree canon. Because if you want to believe that the Baraka is supposed to be the Baraka Monkey, okay, then that makes it a canon thing. Which means that the Baraka and Troglodyte are both canon. Now, if the Baraka is canon, Bad Guy 06
must be canon too.
Because he's just a recolor of the Baraka. So is he just another Baraka monkey?
Sure, why not?
It's like you could make most of these things canon. It's not too difficult. Like you look at like the later ones, there's a squid launcher on feet. Okay, that could just be something that Brocky made.
It's just some weird
You
crap.
got a gun or Function 08, which is just a gun with wings.
I made it a weapon on one of my figures.
Which is definitely one of the more interesting cases because, it's...
I keep all of these sets together except for that set, which is someone's gun.
Well, the fact he made a whole mock based around the color and aesthetic of that gun, well, maybe not the aesthetic, but at least the color, I really like. It's actually a pretty good mock, too.
Yeah.
Well, it's the fact that he had to make a mock that used Keat Orange, a little bit of normal yellow, pearl dark gray, gray, pearl light gray. Like he's got like 6 colors because that little set has like 6 colors. So but it is like the only time that really we built a mock that had anything to do with those sets. Like we haven't made any upgraded versions.
I did make an upgrade of Good Guy 07 as well.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Bond. Oh yes, by the way, we call Good Guy 07 as Jimmy Bond because
he's 07, 007.
I mean, we can't call him James. That's just lame. So it's Jimmy. Jimmy. Actually,
it's not like James is lame. It's like he's too lame for the name James.
He's arguably probably one of the best for what parts you get. For one, he's got all his limbs. He's got all his hands. He's got feet.
He has a mask, but no head.
But even look at the parts he's got. He's got dark green Borak limbs with dark red upper metro legs as well as dark red sockets and an Axon mask. Like honestly, for parts that you get for those sets, he's arguably the best. Like by a long
The
shot.
only downfall is he's missing a head.
Yeah.
But just by the other good guy who has a head with no mask, and you're golden.
Yeah. So it's like, and he does fit great in with the what's it called, the Voidematorn. Like he fits in very well with them. So for me, I look at him and go, okay, he's arguably the best. I don't know if he is the best, but
he's one of our favorites.
I would argue he's not my favorite, but I would argue he's the best. And like all the others are just kind of like whatever. They're spinner launchers with heads slapped on, or feet.
Those are definitely
not legs. I mean feet slapped on.
Those they're definitely ones, the worst.
They're cute. Or Roxy Traga, I'd like to.
Raga. So
Raga? But mutated Raga. Wait, Raga are mutated. No. And with those same sort of summon sets, like, Lego did all that. But they also did 2 other sets that aren't the same caliber, but they feel like they're in the same batch of sets with being the 2 Brickmaster sets. Yes. The Clack and Click.
Click and Clack.
I love that those are the 2 names that they have. Like, now Clack, I feel like, was very much, they built the set, and then they went, Greg, work this into the story. Like, let's be honest, that's probably how it went.
Yeah.
Because it is just an ugly amalgamation of parts. Like, it is not great, and...
Hey, at least it has a head, I guess.
No mask. It's got a head.
It goes well with, Jimmy Bond here.
Yeah, so it's a combination. But then you have Click. Now, let's be honest. Because of The Legend Reborn and Click's part in it, I would say very obvious that Click as a character was an early concept for that year. While
a little more thought than Clack.
And so, the only problem with this is, Click is supposed to be a bug, right? So he's supposed to be like the size of in your palm in your hand. Now, for a standard canister set, this bug is like the size of a Borak almost.
Yeah, well, bugs are pretty big.
Now you get into
just look at the Numerama.
Well, yes, but you get those are pretty big bugs. However, with Titan Man Nui, you get the Brickmaster Click, and it's kind of
it's only like half the size of his foot.
It's about the size of his foot. It's a lot more. You put him up against it, and it's like, okay, this is kind of excusable. I personally just like using a System Vizirac minifig, as Bricklink calls them, as Click for them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a good size, it's got the pinchers, it's got the legs. Like
it looks more like a bug than a spider.
It has all the things you need for what you need for it. So I like it. I like it. But Click definitely, I would say, is the best, because not only was it trying to be something specific rather than just trying to be an amalgamation of parts, but it also was purposeful in the sense. Now, like I said, it's also not the case. There's not the same sort of cases.
Yes, Click actually looks like a thoughtful design set. Clack just looks like some limbs and weapons.
You had some, pretty much, and so Click for me, it's like when you think of Bongo sets, you have you have the small set, the canister set, the Titan set, and then you have the ammo sets or collectible sets. And then there's everything else. And that's where Brickmaster, the good guys, they're in the everything else. Where, unless you're in the know, you're not going to stumble upon it. So it's one of those things where it's like, the normies may not know these sets exist. I don't really...
It certainly took us to, Bricklink to know what they were.
The Clack, when both of them came out, we were on Bricklink pretty regularly, so it wasn't like...
Yeah, by that age, Bricklink was fairly mainstream.
I kind of feel like one of them we knew about from magazines. Because the magazines did promote the Brickmaster. I think...
I wouldn't be surprised if Click. we knew about.
I can't remember for sure. Like, again, Bricklink, we were perusing those days easy peasy, so I really don't remember. But at the end of the day, they're not the normal standard sets that you're getting from Lego producing. And it's not like they hadn't... Because, yeah, in the early years, they never really did that up until the Crate 2, and I think 2004 was the Crate 2.
Yeah, that was pretty much the first one.
Because, like, yeah, they had the Kabaya promotional sets,
Well,
but those
the
are...
Faiku Spider. Let's not forget the Faiku Spider.
Ah, yeah, the Faiku Spider. That's in an interesting place because it's kind of the same thing where it's just some parts, but again, it's the design from the Master Builder set.
I think there's like a one-piece color difference, the head.
Yeah, it's light gray instead of dark gray. But I feel like they made the Master Builder set and they designed a spider, and people really like the designers are like, dang, that's a good spider. And people are like, no, we should just make that a polybag. That's a cool spider. We have a lot of these parts.
It was so good, they made it twice.
I don't know where you would have gone the polybag if it was like a Lego.com thing, a Legoland thing.
It was so good, there was like, you could get an Anua and a Pohatu or something. You could build a black one.
I can't remember if that's how I
that's
first...
a magazine instruction.
I don't...
Even though like it's a ball short if you actually have those two.
Right, that's true. You're right. I remember that. You're both. Yeah. Yeah, but the Faiku Spider, I guess, really was like the first sort of extra poly bag that wasn't part of the collectible or the 3-tier sets. Because, like, yeah, you had stuff like the Master Builder set, which is just on its own.
Okay, question. Was it the first a combo with Pohatu and Anua, or was it first in the Master Builder?
Well, Master Builder would have been in 2002. Same with the Faiku.
So first it was like, hey, we can
so
build
I'm
this out a couple
assuming the combo model was the first. Unless it showed up in 2002 as well, but it'd be weird for making combo models for sets that were already a year old.
Not completely out.
I will have to look into that because I'm still slightly hesitant that there even was instructions for the combo model or anything like that, or just a
I vaguely
picture.
remember it in one of the magazines.
Yeah, you have better knowledge of those, so I'm gonna assume you're right on that one.
I'll definitely have to double check this at some point, but I'm fairly certain it was in one of the magazines.
Yeah, and so Gen 1, like it's for 2002 and 2003 really didn't have like anything. I mean, we also had all like the mask, like all these poly bags of like or collectibles and such, so they didn't really need to have, I guess, small sets.
Yeah. Gen
2, when Bionicle got rebooted for Generation 2, they did bring back a little bit for foil polybag sets, which Lego
once again the Faiku Spider. Oh, well, kind of the Skull Spider is
there's a little, not that big, not the one of the Transformers. I mean, so there's 2 foil packs. One that made a little tiny scorpion, which is non-canonical, but again, it's just a scorpion. While the other one being a Gill, Ikimu's pet bird, which I'm like, okay. Again, we got one that's canonized and one that isn't. Although saying anything's canonized with Gen 2 just sounds weird because there's so little to it. So like most years of Bionicles, including Gen 2, I mean the first wave of Gen 2 really just had the one power booster pack basically that had the mask, but that wasn't a really... That's more of a collectible sort of mask set sort of idea. Because I think outside of Click, like the later years, like Glatorians only had the one. Vantoka only had... Mystica Wave, I think, is when Clack came out. Like the later end.
Well, there was a good guy and bad guy 08.
For a good guy and a bad guy and a function.
Yeah.
So you had 3. The Mario also had a good guy, bad guy, and a function.
Basically, yeah.
Let's be honest, it peaked in 2006.
07, 08.
Let's be honest, it peaked in 06 because Lego had a bunch of ripcords and spinners they wanted to get rid of. And so they made a bunch of those. They're like, okay, we went through all these buckets, but we still
Let's
have
get rid of
spinners.
them, quick!
It's like, okay, we finished making all these buckets, we still have spinners and ripcords, what can we do? Let's make a bunch of little,
what else have we got? Some rash kids?
Quick had, approach that's making, we can do like a, what's it called? A business deal with Quick, make some little quick things for them. Funny. And just, put it all together and boom. Just get it out there. Because like you look at all the parts and a lot of them are like, well, you got the Keytorch foot from Kitongu used on one. They're probably just trying to get rid of that piece in there, You have dark green sockets on one, but again, these are like old. It's interesting because like, yeah, you got one with dark green sockets, so like you did get decent parts.
There's a couple of them with dark red sockets.
Well, even then, like trying to build them,
I had to source out a few dark red sockets.
That was the thing. They used way more, like, because Jimmy Bond and Lee Kong both used dark red sockets. That was a pain because old style dark red sockets unless you have a bunch of orcs
Rahaga
around,
Nords, yeah.
they're a little bit more difficult to get. So, you know, it's nice. They're not bad. They're trash sets, decent parts packs for if you're not paying for much for them. The other things, like, don't pay money for these things for any high degree. Like, unless you want them sealed, they're not worth anything.
You may as well just dig in your bucket and piece them together with your parts.
I mean, let's be honest.
That's what I did.
Well, back in the day, it's like with made-ups and such, like, we would used to make, once we built all the interesting creations, we would, quote-unquote interesting, we would basically have the leftover parts and what Zacta coined as the 6-piece things.
Yes, the days before mocks, we made made-ups.
Where we would just break all the
We
sets.
made up our own thing.
But we would also make all the sets over again. Like, you know, it would only be temporarily.
We were still young.
Yeah. So
We didn't know the
But by the
term.
time we had like no pieces left, but we still wanted to build, we built things made out of 6 pieces. They were trash, but they were funny and cute sometimes.
Just how can we attach these 6 pieces to make it look kind of like a figure?
I don't think they almost ever had masks. Trianos occasionally, I think. But
Occasionally, yeah, there would be like that one mask left over, and that's obviously the boss.
well, yes, the bots of the 6-piece thing, very much so. But
There might be some heads left over, because, you know, all your mask packs, you get heads.
yeah, heads were always something we
Or,
had.
like, it'd be like a Baraki head, because you don't want to use that. I don't know, cool mock.
Actually, I think there was a 6-piece thing that used a Caddock's head one time. I can vaguely remember it. No eyes because that would
Or
be
like a
too many pieces.
Mantax head.
Definitely one of them was used on a 6-piece thing.
Or Pridax head.
No, Pridax head. There'd be too many pieces to make it work. You know, I think that we just avoid using Pridax head.
It might not be a 6-piece thing, but it would still be a crappy leftover mock.
Yeah, copy after mocks. So
Those were the days.
You know, for those starting out building mocks, just know that no matter what mock you do, look at the quick good guys that Lego did. Lego made worse than anything that you
Lego
can do.
sold this stuff.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I got one as a kid, I would have loved it. It was another Bionicle, but
Pretty much, yeah.
which I mean, that I kind of feel like it comes down to. Ooh, sorry, we all just went quiet there for a second. We got a hockey game on too. That might be a reoccurring thing during for the next few months of podcast. That there's a good chance there'll be a hockey
It's
game
basically
going on
double
while we're
reason
playing.
for you to come over and visit.
Well, because I come here every second week, it seems like every second week there's a Flames game on the Thursday, so. But yeah, no, like the small sets were. None of them ever had any unique parts.
Some
But
had less.
some had rare. Well, like, you think about the disc from the Crate 2.
Or
That
the
only came-
Gleekon mask.
The Gleekon mask, the disc. Even
The dark
the
red
staff.
sockets.
Actually, a lot of them have parts that only came in one set. Like almost all of them, I think, like the Key Orange or Decafoot.
Yeah.
That only came in one other set. Like a lot of them have, and Hydraxon's mask only came in one other set. Like a lot of the parts they have, like a lot of them have parts that only came in one other set. So in certain
They were
cases,
uncommon, but they weren't unique.
unique. I kind of feel like one of them almost had a unique part where it's like, but no, I'm just misthinking of stuff because I'm thinking about Umbra, which if you really want to get into it, Umbra is the king of the quick good guy stuff. He's got a messy color scheme and he has no unique parts, and he's got a spinner. Okay, well technically you could argue Umbra has a unique part, kind of.
The
This thing is,
spinner.
if you count, he didn't have a unique part for his year, but if you count, let's say, if you say the Tarkava has unique blue Picari, technically blue Picari became mass sets, but if you say it's unique to the Tarkava because you can guarantee getting it, okay. By that same logic, you could say that Umbra's melded spinner is unique to
It would have
him.
been so nice if you had that same mask
In dark green.
Dark green or Ketone.
I think dark green would have looked great, which would have been funny because, again, that's the only mask that Metro Mask that Lego has recolored is the Ruru, which not only got recolored, but also got used one more time than any other mask because of Umbra. Which, by the way, I still think Umbra is one of the coolest Titans. I am biased, I'll admit that, because I had him he was one of my first. But also specifically is, how many other Titans have a cool double, Darth Maul style staff and a palette sort of looking like shoulders as well as freaking roller skates? To me, the roller skates just harkens back to 2001 for me. A nice
I was going to say, the only other things with roller skates would be like the Mawaka or the Tarkava.
roller
which
treads.
The Tarkava just are like roller
But the fact that,
skates.
that he has, to bring back, I would say, the biomechanic, like the fact that these things aren't just dudes; they can have like
Wheels
and like turbines, and actually with that same sort of thought process, I literally built my newest mock has a disc launcher in his chest, and I feel like that's something that sometimes I think I forget about Mon, because you can get more than just having a gun arm. You can do a little bit more, shoulder mounted weapons and such. There's a lot you can do. But, so I think with that, I think that's the good place to end, and with the Umbra rant that I occasionally come out with. So, unless you have any other thoughts about the good guys you can think of, but...
Well, they're good guys.
They're good guys. You have bad guys. They're bad guys. They're not very good. You don't hang out with them.
Some of them sure are quick.
Oh, I'll say this, though, about the bad guys. Just one last thing. Getting sets that have Scott D heads with no faces is really nice. The sole fact that Maxilis has 2 masks. And Hookie masks can go on it. But, alright, I think that's a good place to end it with. Thanks for all for listening, and welcome. For the new viewers, if you made it this far, congratulations, you survived. Consider liking and subscribing if you're liking this content. And, if you want us to ever talk about something specific, let us know. But until then...
give us topic ideas.
Yeah, please. It's very hard. A lot of these come up last minute. I'll admit.
Second.
Very much so. So, thank you all for listening and or watching. I've been your host, Andromel. This has been the Total Podcast, and we are retiring from the night.